keep it locked away. Save your love, don't keep it locked away. Well, I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm coming to steal it all away. Every day you keep hiding it away. Every day you keep hiding it away. Well, I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm gonna steal it all away. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Well, I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm gonna steal your love away. When you're sleeping late at night, I'll come over to you. I'll be searching for your treasures, Lord knows that's what I'll do. Save your love, don't keep it locked away. Well, I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm coming to steal your love away. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm here to steal your love away. I said bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Bank robber, baby. Well, I'm your bank robber, baby. I'm your bank robber, baby, and I'm coming to steal your love away.
Yeah, so just having a little bit of fun this afternoon, trying out all the things here that we use for our live shows. And so it's all about the sound and on the effects that you put on there, microphones, compression, stuff like that. If you're into sound and music and stuff, you'll know what I mean. So we're striving to get the best sound when we play live, and so that's what I'm trying to do this afternoon. So I'm just using the opportunity to play a few songs from this album, which you can see up there in the screen. There it is. Where is it? There it is. And so I'm just going to play a few songs off there and see how it goes. Probably in the playback, Facebook might mute the music because it's copyright protected. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens. So that first song there was a song called Bank Robber. It's the first song on the album. And lots of fun to do. I remember collaborating with Leo Beerza, the keyboard player, on this one, and of course Tom Moerenhout doing the saxophone on there. So it was lots of fun, and I'm always surprised when I listen back. It actually sounds pretty cool. Okay, so Maria, you say you have that album, fantastic. Danielle, cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to play some more and just keep going. And if you want to chat, send a message. I can see if I can respond to it. The next one is a song called Frankie, and I wrote it about a friend of mine in South Africa who used to be our drummer way back when, 1990 thereabouts, and he was called Frankie. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, and that was part of the reason why I wrote the song. So let's get it queued up here. Frankie was a rider.
Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. One summer day he met Maggie May. They took their vows, together they'd stay. Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. One day downtown he met Robbie Rob. When he picked up his sticks, they got on the job. Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. And soon they were coming from miles around to hear the band rocking as the sun went down. A hopping and a stomping till the break of day. You could see their blues jumping out of the way. Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. Johnny and Simon and Albert too caught the rockin' virus through and through. 'Cause Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. Then Frankie's band traveled far and wide. They touched everybody, they felt good inside. 'Cause Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, Frankie, yeah, he was a rider. I said, hey, the blues gonna ride again. I said, hey, the blues gonna ride again. I said, hey, the blues gonna ride again.
Yeah, okay, that was Frankie. Yes, and as I mentioned in the comments, the blues harp was played by my friend in South Africa, Rob Nagel. We used to play together in a band called the Blues Brews many years ago. We started it up late 80s, and then 1993 I ended up being here in Europe, and but the band Blues Brews has continued and has done very well. Had a string of really amazing musicians, like Simon Orange on the keyboard, and of course Albert Frost, the great guitarist, who is Frankie's son. So it stayed in the family, and yeah, good memories. Now the album, this one, we released it in 2015, I think it was. Yes, 2015. It's our second album. Actually, unofficially our third album, but second album on Spotify, iTunes, etc. And it was produced by Peter Struik, who's kind of made quite big inroads in the blues scene in the Netherlands. Great solo performer, and also played guitar with people like Robert Voss and people like that. So he has a label called Blue Shine Records, and this album and the previous album were released on Blue Shine Records with Peter, and Peter helped, of course, with the production, the mixing, and also played a couple of guest guitar spots on the albums as well. So I'm not sure how far we're going to get with the songs this afternoon, but if there's a song featuring Peter, I'll let you know, and you can listen out for his great guitar playing. So yeah, okay, so Glenn, thank you very much. I'm really happy that you're listening and saying the levels are good. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, of course. And as I said, I've been experimenting with things like adding compression and limiters and stuff like that, using the software and that we use for our live streaming. So I have this device called an ATEM Mini, and those of you who do live streams might know what it is. And it has a lot of really cool features that you can control on your computer. Things like effects and making sure that you've got everything in stereo and what have you. So yeah, Glenn says I should start up a radio station. Yeah, that would be fun. I'm kind of, I suppose, doing that a little bit today. But the interesting thing was, Glenn, I don't know if you noticed, I said earlier that people who play songs on Facebook, by other artists, once when it's live, it's okay, but once it goes onto your Facebook page, Facebook kind of has a recognition thing that figures out it's a song with copyright, and then they mute all the music out. So I'm curious if they're going to mute this out afterwards as well, because I am the owner. But yeah, cool. And so Kim, you've just woken up. Whereabouts? You're in the States, aren't you? I think you're in America somewhere. So anyway, let's move on. Let's do another one. This one, we actually made a little video for it. It's a nice kind of a slow song. It's called "I Just Can't Go On," and we shot the video over in South Africa on my birthday a few years ago. It was on the West Coast. It was a very misty early morning on the West Coast of South Africa. And you can check out the video on YouTube. It's just type in John Frick band I Just Can't Go On, and you'll find it. Okay, so let's see here. This is what it sounds like.
Searching for the signs, knew the only road I wanted was the one that would make you mine. Headed for the crossroads, watching the troubled skies. Hope the storm would blow my future right up into your eyes. I just can't go on. I just can't go on. Tell me that you love me, that you got me in your heart. Help me find the road looking for, so I'll make my new start. I just can't go on. I just can't go on. Searching for the signs. Knew the only road I wanted was the one that would make you mine. Headed for the crossroads, watching the troubled sky. Hope the storm would blow my future right up into your eyes. I just can't go on. I just can't go on. I just can't go on.
Yeah, I just can't go on. It's good, good title for a blues song, I guess. So yeah, thank you for all the nice compliments, Tenica. Very nice, thank you, and Danielle saying a beautiful voice. Wow, I really appreciate that. You know, singing is something that has developed and changed for me over the years. At one point, I was in a hillbilly band. And I got into the habit of really squeezing my voice like a real typical hillbilly singer, and then when I eventually got back to playing in blues bands and what have you, people used to say to me, "Oh, your voice, it's piercing. It's sometimes it's just that little bit too sharp, I guess." So I've, with the help of various people and advice from people like Nico Hart, our bass player, try to sing in a more natural voice so that the quality of the voice can come through nicely. So that's the idea. On that last song, you may have noticed there was some really nice female backing vocals there, and that was done by Deborah Hulskamp, or Debbie Lammers as some people know her. She and Ron were my old downstairs neighbors when I used to live in Voorburg, and it was great. They were doing their music stuff downstairs, and I was doing my music stuff upstairs, and we could just, when necessary, call on each other to come and sing, backing vocals or whatever. It was fantastic, and we're working currently on a new album, and I've done all the backing vocals myself at this point, but I guess I'm gonna ask Debbie if she would like to add to one or two of the songs, because her voice is so beautiful, and it really makes a difference. So let's have a look. Next one we're gonna do then. Okay, this was just a little fun song, and it wasn't actually in our live set very much, but I really enjoyed the song. It's called Inside of Me, and well, let's give it a spin, and you tell me what you think. Inside of Me.
to see if you were looking back, you had to go. You put a low down spell on my beating heart. Just a low down spell tearing me apart. When I was looking back to see if you were looking back, you had to go. You got inside of me, you got inside of me. You got inside of me, you got inside of me. Whoa, can't you see? Whoa, inside of me. You got me dancing under the gallows, just dancing under the gallows. When I was looking back to see if you were looking back, you had to go. You put a low down spell on my beating heart. Just a low down spell tearing me apart. When I was looking back to see if you were looking back, you had to go. You got inside of me, you got inside of me. You got inside of me, you got inside of me. Whoa, can't you see? Whoa, inside of me. Well, you got inside of me, you got inside of me. You got inside of me, you got inside of me. Whoa, can't you see? Whoa, inside of me.
Yeah, Inside of Me. Nice fun song. Yeah, thank you, Leah. Indeed, Tom did a fantastic job on these songs, doing the sax parts. It was a lot of fun. You know, I kind of recorded most of the stuff at home and then sent it over to Tom, and he was, with his home recording setup that he has, trying out different things and sending it back to me. And everything that he sent, in fact, was, top notch. And I've heard a few music people across the world, radio stations, what have you, saying, great sax part. So I'm really, really happy with what he did. It was fantastic. Thank you, Jess, and thanks also for the contacts about the Hague Music Spotify playlist. Peter, I think the guy's name is. So I've sent him the link, and hopefully some of these songs that you're hearing now will be featured on that playlist. So yeah, the next song is a song called Got Me Going, and I mentioned earlier that this album was produced or co-produced by Peter Struik from Blue Shine Records, and that he played guitar on 2 of the tracks. So in this song, one of the guitar solos, if you listen out, you'll hear it's not my style. It's Peter playing his guitar bit at the end, which is fantastic. As I said, he's an amazing guitarist. And again, Deborah Hulskamp is doing some of the backing vocals on this song. So let's see, it's called Got Me Going.
baby on my arm tonight. Yeah, we're going downtown to the house of blue light. With love like this, there's no need to fuss or fight. Well, I got her on my mind every minute of every day. Yeah, my heart's beating fast, I just had to say. With a love like this, I'm going all the way. Well, you got me going, baby. 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 Yeah, you got me going, and I'm going all the way. Baby, you got me going, baby. You got me going, baby. You got me going, baby. You got me going, and I'm going all the way. Going, baby. You got me going, baby. You got me going, baby. You got me going, and I'm going all the way. Yeah, you got me going, baby. 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 You got me going, and I'm going all the way.
Wow, yeah, really fun to listen back to this, and of course, for me, I guess that there are, you know, there's a lot more to it listening back than for somebody who's just hearing the music for the first time, because of course we were all involved in creating the music, playing the parts, recording it, writing it. Each song, you know, has a massive history for us, the musicians, and for me as the person who sort of created them. So I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but our guest artists on this album were Debbie Hulskamp, who did the backing vocals, Peter Struik, who co-produced it with me and played on this last song. He played guitar, lead guitar, the first lead guitar, the second one was mine. And of course Rob Nagel in South Africa from the Blues Brews, who played on 3 different tracks doing blues harp. And of course Tom Moerenhout, who we've mentioned, the sax player, and who played sax on quite a few of the songs. So very, very nice indeed. Then the main band members are were it's changed a bit. Myself, John Freck on the guitars and singing, Michel de Man on drums, and Leo Beerza on keyboards. It was really amazing working with Leo. Leo has decided to focus his attention on his other band, Hollands Blauw, and they're doing some great stuff as well. And Michelle and I were part of Hollands Blauw as well for a while. But, I guess everybody's got new things they want to do on all sides. So, we've gone off and done our own thing, and they're doing their own thing, and they're doing really well. We wish them every success. And maybe one day, hopefully we'll get them here in the studio to come and do a live set. It'd be very nice to hear them perform. And of course, last but not least, we've got Nico Hart, the bass player. And Nico is like our walking encyclopedia in the band. If you want to know anything about a certain type of music or a musician or a band, Nico is the guy. And we always kind of laugh a little bit, because if we discuss a musician at a rehearsal, the next day he'll send us an email with like links to YouTube and Wikipedia and all sorts. And but that's fantastic. We love that. Thank you, Nico. And so let's see what else have we got here. Let's move on. Now, one or two of the songs had a mystery lyricist that sort of contributed. And this person definitely did not want to be credited by name, and just did it for a little bit of fun. So he or she, the name is not mentioned at all on the CD, but I'm very, very grateful. The bits that they contributed did help to shape the songs really nicely. So this next song is called Thrill Seeker, and probably 80-90% of the lyrics were written by this mystery contributor. So unfortunately I can't elaborate, but anyway, so as far as I know, there's none of the guests play on this one. Maybe, well, actually Tom is playing sax, I think. So it's called, as I said, Thrill Seeker.
You're just a thrill seeker, and all I need to give you is sweet loving. Just your arms to hold me tight, feel you close through the dead of night. Your arms to hold me tight, feel you close through the dead of night. That's all I need, that's all I need, but you turned me away, oh yeah. I said, whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. To break my bonds, wrong to do what I did to you. I said I was wrong to break my bonds, wrong to do what I did to you. So I let you go, that's what I did, but you hurt me so bad, threw my heart in the fire. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. thrill. Yes, I feel so stupid, 'cause for me there's no thrill. Oh, I know you don't care for me, 'cause I found out you're just a thrill seeker, that's all.
Yeah, Thrill Seeker, yes, the mystery lyricist, and we have revealed that it was a woman and not a man that wrote most of those lyrics. As I said, I'm very appreciative, very grateful, because I think they're super, and I was a bit disappointed that that person, or she, didn't want to take credit for the lyrics. But, you know, you've got to respect people's wishes. So the next song that I'm going to play is one that a lot of people say is their favorite. It's a slow kind of blues song. I know the other day we played it in our live set, and one of my friends and former colleagues, Nigel Hube, said that this is his favorite song. He loves the song. And I told the story as well during the live set that it was written around about the time of Hurricane Katrina, in fact, obviously just after. And I wanted to keep it simple, but I wanted to kind of get this feeling of, you know, some sort of impending doom, something terrible that's about to happen, and you've just got to get in your car and you've got to go and get away, you know, to escape it. And so escaping a massive blunder, or you know, something like a hurricane. But it's, you know, as with all music, it's and lyrics, it's not just literal. It can also be figurative, you know, sort of getting away from something terrible that's happening in your life. So you know, so in that way, I like it, and it's very simple. I know there are some of people that I know who are very into deep lyrics, poetic lyrics, you know, and don't really have much time for the more simple stuff. But, you know, it goes with the genre of blues music. You don't want to get too deep and too poetic. And in its simplicity, it actually is quite deep and poetic. So, and I see it that way, and I like it that way. So, yeah. So let's have a listen then. Storm Rolling In, and picture yourself around that time of Hurricane Katrina, and this will be the message then.
Have you heard the news? There's a storm rolling in over town. Have you heard the news? There's a storm rolling in over town. They're saying everybody get in your car. You gotta drive just as far as you can. baby. Please, someone tell me you have. Have you seen my baby? Please, someone tell me you have. Because if I can't find my baby, there's gonna be hell to pay.
Yeah, a storm rolling in. So, yeah, I can see on my Facebook feed here all the people who have joined in. Hey, Clayton, my brother, he's there watching all the way from Australia. Susie, wow, nice to see you. And Tom, yes, you can hear yourself playing saxophone here. Great, thank you for joining. Marion Crispane, Rob Geldman, yes, all these familiar, and one of my old students, Bailey. I don't know if you're still watching, but welcome. And nice to see you there. I taught Bailey when he was 9 at the international school here in The Hague, and now he's already, I guess, how old are you now, Bailey? You must be like 20 or something, or even more, right? No, well, just before 20, I think. So amazing. Yeah, I've been a school teacher at international schools for many years. And that's the other thing that I do. Music is kind of like my hobby, but I suppose it's getting a bit more serious these days. And I'm still in touch with some of my students from way back. I taught some kids. At one point I was teaching very young kids. They were like 5 and 6 years old. And some of these kids are already, parents. They've through university, they're working. Oh, Bailey, yes, Bailey is 20. Yeah. Cool, man. Saw you recently, and it was nice to see you and your family, and I hope you guys are doing well. So, as I say, amazing to have that opportunity to keep in touch with your students from way back. And some of them come to my gigs, like we're playing a gig somewhere, and suddenly there's 3 kids who I taught when they were 5 or 6 years old, and there they are, like big and smoking and drinking beer, and it's quite funny. And then when you haven't seen your students for since they were really small, and now they're in their 20s, it's like you try to think yourself, well, how must I talk to this person? Like last time I spoke to you, like as a teacher talking to a little kid, and now you're an adult. It's quite a funny situation to be in. I guess we'll just keep going for a little while. And there's a fair amount of people still watching. Janet watching from South Africa. Andre, nice that you guys are watching and sharing. And as I said, this was meant to be more like a technical testing the settings and stuff of all the gear here. So it's turned into something a little more than that. Oh, that's cool. We've been doing live shows for since Corona. We decided because there wasn't live music, we would give it a go. So we almost every Tuesday night we've been doing a live show. And it's been great to see it evolve, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the test this afternoon, is because I want the sound and the visuals to be really good. And it's getting better and better, but of course every week there's a little gremlin that creeps in somewhere, and there's a challenge, but that's all part of it. This is how it is. So like the last live show we did, the keyboard was dropping out. There was like funny noises coming out of my guitar pedal setup, just little interruptions. But I'm so glad that the people who watch enjoy it just the way it is. So. But of course, the goal is ultimately to do something where you don't have any problems whatsoever. So let's see, what does my brother say there, Clayton? This format works well. Sort of a show, yeah. Show and tell. True. Yeah. And it wasn't meant to be that at all. But that's what it's turned out to be. So yeah. And anyway, so I was getting off the point there because we've got more live shows coming up. Now the next live show will be on Wednesday the 15th. Not normally we do it on Tuesday, but this time it'll be a Wednesday. And if there are any fans of Dutch blues music, famous Dutch blues bands, then you'll know who I'm talking about when I say that our special guest will be none other, and I can actually do something here. I hope it's going to work. Let me try. It's going to be none other than the famous From Living Blues, Mr. Nico Christiansen. Okay, that didn't work. I had a sound effect which maybe you heard it, but I didn't hear it. Let's try it again. Nico Christiansen. Oh, okay, it's not working. Anyway, it's you have this like built-in little thing where you can play some sound effects. So that's going to be great. It's only sort of 45 minutes long, so we're just going to have a great time. It's going to be Nico Christiansen. He's going to be playing a little bit of guitar, saxophone, of course, singing, and we're going to have our new guest that's been playing with us a few times now, Mr. Michael Escherzé. I always struggle to say his name. He's going to be there on the keyboards, and then of course the band, and hopefully we'll have our technical guy Leo van der Helm, who will be helping us out. So it should be a lot of fun, and we're going to get the show ready for you. And oh, it did work. Oh, cool, Kim. I didn't hear it through my headphones, but I guess that's because it makes sense. I'm listening to my desk and not to the actual broadcast. Okay, so let's move on now. We spoke earlier about the mystery lyricist, the person that wrote some lyrics and didn't want to take credit for it for personal reasons, and we identified that it is a lady, and so she provided part of the lyrics for the next song as well. I think I did the chorus part, and which includes the title, but she kind of did the verse parts. And I find that, maybe some of these lyrics that she's writing, maybe it's kind of like autobiographical, dare I say? I don't know. I might get in trouble for saying that, but I don't know. We'll see. So the song is called Superficial Love.
your face in every shop window, laughing and scheming, trying to steal the show. And I'm trying my best not to play your game. The way you acting, baby, it's a crying shame. Well, I see your face looking down, looking down, looking down, looking down at me.
Yeah, superficial love, and of course the beautiful sound of Deborah Hulskamp, Debbie Lammers, doing the backing vocals there. Really adds nice dimension to the music. Yeah, thanks Tom. Nice to see your comment there. As I said, the sax parts were fantastic, and so glad that we did them. They certainly lifted the songs. And that's the beauty about working with different people and trying different things, is everybody brings their own thing in. On our new recordings we're working on as well, we've got a couple of people that we've never worked with before who are, adding their bits and pieces, and it sounds fantastic. It's really nice. It's like when you do a painting and you kind of just go from a very simple picture to just adding more color, more texture. Yeah, we're back again. I guess what happens is the app times out after an hour or so. So I'm back live again. I hope that you can see it. Let's just go back to my Facebook page and see what's happening. Yeah. Is that the live there? Yes, I think it is. So, yeah, I've just restarted it. So, yeah. So Michel, our drummer, he's here as well. He's doing his other work downstairs. So he just popped in to say, because he was watching it downstairs. So he's just popped in to say, oh, it stopped, but we're going again. And already I can see we've got 5 people who are watching, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, as I said, live shows on the 15th of July. The trick is to go onto my Facebook page and just find it there. It starts at 9 o'clock. I do send out kind of like a Facebook event to people, and I've tagged lots of people in there. But if you're listening to this now and you want to listen to us playing with Nico Christiansen on the 15th, then 9 o'clock European time, just go to my Facebook page, and we're quite good. Yes, we managed to come back. Thanks, Kim. Thank you, Bailey. Yes, and Tom. Yeah. So let's see, what else have we got. Yeah, the album was dedicated to the memory of a couple of people. One was the guy that I mentioned earlier, Frank Frost, who was our drummer in South Africa, passed away at a very young age, unfortunately. And the other one was a very good friend of mine who played with me in different bands, and also actually played in the John Frick band for a while, a guy called Roel. And he was a brilliant a rockabilly guitarist, and we have a rockabilly band as well, and Roel was the lead guitarist for that. It's called the Code Ray Brothers. There is a page for it on Facebook, and he was brilliant. It was really amazing. Wow, he could play the socks off anybody. Always a pleasure. The sounds that he got and the tone. A master of the Telecaster he was. And when he played with us in the John Frick band for a while, he stood in as a kind of a reserve or a guest bass player. And then unfortunately about 4 or 5 years ago, also at a very young age, passed away while he was on his summer holiday. So we miss him a lot, and hopefully if people buy this album and they read the sleeve notes, they'll remember Roel as well. And he was very much a part of these songs and helped to create them as well. And eventually Nico Hart, our current bass player, replaced Roel once he decided to go back to being a guitarist, which is what he did absolutely the best. So how about another track? This track that I'm going to play now, when we play it live, it's quite long. It sort of goes on for 7 minutes or something. And I like it. It's like a groove. If you're somebody just wants to like space out a little bit and groove, especially live, this song does it. It's got all the nice rhythms, beats, and we've got Leo Bearza doing some really cool stuff on the keyboards as well. And as I say, it's called Ride That Lonesome Train. So let's take a listen, shall we?
I'm gonna ride
Whoops. Stopped it a bit early there. So, you could hear some nice percussion going on in that song. And that was Tom Moerenhout playing bottles and all sorts of things in the background. Really nice, helping to assist the groove there in the song. So halfway through the song I was ducking down because I'm sort of trying to plug my headphones into the little device so that when I'm moving, hopefully, I'm actually moving in time with the music, because there is a delay, right? So if I monitor on my desk, I'm hearing the sound as it happens. But when you see the footage or the live stream, it's a few seconds delayed. So there'll be some music going, and then I'll be like moving, but I won't be in time. So hopefully I'm in time now. Not that I'm a great mover, but sometimes you've got to do it. So let's see. Michel from downstairs. He's listening again or watching. What you doing, Michel? Are you having a good time? And Gerard, my old mate, Gerard Stoutenburg. My first few years of living in The Hague, we played together a lot. Always really nice to play with Gerard. Great drummer. And we had some nice bands and things together musically. So let's see, what shall we do next? I'm hearing a sort of a slight little, like an echo in my headphones. I hope it's not like that for you live and that you're hearing it pure. I'm just going to take my headphones off for a moment just to hear if there's any other sound. Hello. Yeah. So as I said, this is a test. So I've got to make sure that things are working. Michelle says it's working, and he's working and he's listening. Yeah. Good, Michelle. Yeah, somebody's got to earn the money. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. So we did Ride That Lonesome. Now, this is quite a long album. It's 55 minutes long. And there's still quite a few songs. And I guess we can keep going for a little bit. Here is a song called Get Up and Go There. And let's just have a look to see if there were any of the guest people that played on there. Not that I can see. But anyway, Get Up and Go There.
With long blonde hair, high heel boots, leather underwear, a wrecking yard logo, twin tail pipes, 49 Chevy with lightning stripes. She said, get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Muscle car mama with a custom paint job, cherry on wheels, chop your top. Nitrous in the back, gas in the tank, guzzle up gallons, gonna turn your crank. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. crankshaft in the back of a truck. The grease monkey mojo man will come unstuck. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now. Get up, get up, get up, get up and go there now.
Yeah, get up and go there. And again with Tommy M on the saxophone. Yes, nice to see comments and people watching. Thank you. Yeah, as my brother Clayton says there, you know, he comes over from Australia every so often, especially in the summer times here. And we do a lot of jamming and, you know, kind of playing gigs and stuff. Always a lot of fun. And a lot of these songs that you hear on the album, we've kind of jammed as well. And sometimes, you know, there's just, in that live situation, a different kind of magic that happens. And, you know, that's the beauty about having a song and not always religiously playing it in exactly the way that it is on the album. You know, try to jam, try to feed off each other. You know, sometimes a song that may be 2.5 minutes long on an album, you know, could end up being 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long because, you know, you're kind of doing interesting stuff with it. It kind of happens spontaneously. So, yeah. So, yeah, and Clayton saying we should do some highlights of our Confituren show. Yeah, we can do that for sure next time you're here. Confituren is it's I guess it's the Dutch people can correct me, it's the Dutch word for jam, you know, jam that you put on your sandwich. And we have a band which is like our jam band when we just kind of do experimental stuff. And Roel, actually our friend who passed away, he called us Confituren. So and also interesting because it's always different types of jam. It's not just one jam. We do different musicians, and it's kind of all spontaneous stuff. We try not to follow too many musical rules. So it's been absolutely fantastic, and doing those kinds of projects have also helped me a lot and the guys that we play with when we play more formally as well, because we've learned to interact with each other better and to feed off each other. So it's, I guess, for other musicians out there, I can strongly recommend that you try that if you haven't done so already. You know, set up jam session with your buddies, and try to abandon all rules. Get crazy, you know, do stuff. Use your effects pedals like you never used them before, and it's a really fun process. And we often, you know, run some sort of recorder, as we have done. And it's good to listen back to it. And so yeah, let's do that next time. It'll be fun. Let's have a look. The next song is called "Down in Mexico." Now, you know, I've been to the States, to America, like twice, so I'm no expert, but you know, from watching movies and stuff, you always get the idea that, you know, if you've committed some sort of crime or atrocity in the USA, then one of your and you see that in movies as well, of course, then what they always try to do is they try to cross the border, get down to Mexico to evade the long arm of the law. And this is just a silly little ditty about a guy who did that. You know, he was married, living up in Idaho. You know, I mean, I don't even know exactly where Idaho is, but you know, living with his wife, and then obviously he did something naughty, and he had to escape down to Mexico, and then, you know, for the rest of time, as long as they were alive, they couldn't ever see each other again, you know, because he was hiding from the law in Mexico. So just a nice silly little song, but I like it, so I hope you'll like it too. It's called Down in Mexico.
Way down in old Mexico, there lives an old man. Left his home in Idaho a long time ago. Down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico. That's where he had to go. Way up in Idaho, there lives an old woman. Lost her man to Mexico a long time ago. Down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico. That's where he had to go. Mexico, there lives an old man. Left his home in Idaho a long time ago. Way up in Idaho, there lives an old woman. Lost her man to Mexico a long time ago. Down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico, down in Mexico. That's where he had to go. Mexico, 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 Mexico,
Yeah, a bit of rattlesnake going on there at the end. Yeah, always fun to experiment with things like percussion. You know, to me it always enriches the song. It's another one of those little things that you put in, maybe some shakers, or as in one of the previous songs where Tom was rattling some bottles and things. You know, it just adds character. And one of the things that, you know, we always talk about is back in the 70s, you know, if you listen to Derek and the Dominoes or whatever, you know, the parts and the percussion parts and what have you, they were quite often a little bit messy, you know, not always exactly on the beat. And that was part of the charm. And sometimes in the mix there would be one thing that would really stand out. And I wonder if people would do it like that today. I think they might, you know, not have things sticking out so much in the mix. So that's the interesting part of recording, is thinking about those things. And of course today, people trying very hard to get everything, you know, on the beat. If you're playing with a click track, everything has got to be exactly right. So I hope that in our recordings we're going to try to stick a little bit to the older style, where we, you know, timing is obviously very important, but, you know, we don't want it to be too tight and too clean. You know, that would sort of not really go very well with the essence of, you know, what our music is about. It's got to be just a little bit sloppy. I had to laugh earlier today because a friend of mine who's a great drummer sent me a message and said he really likes my guitar playing style. He says there's a sort of a bit of a madness in my playing, and so I'm not quite sure what he means by that, but I think it's a compliment. I mean, yeah, if madness is kind of something that refers to being creative and being original, then yeah, thank you. I take that as a compliment. And yeah, it was really cool to see more people joining in. As I said, I can kind of follow here. I don't know if they're still watching, but Witzke, Rob Geldman again, Eric Maas, Michael Descant, old schoolmate. We were at school together, high school in South Africa. And from his Facebook, looks like he's doing great stuff with photography, and also very musical as well. And, you know, in those days we didn't know that about each other. I only really started playing the guitar kind of just after leaving high school. I was always involved with musical stuff, but not so much with guitar playing. And we lived in a student house in a suburb called Observatory in Cape Town, and I lived there for 1 year with my brother, and he had all his gear there. And after a year he finished his university degree and moved to London and left the gear there. And myself and one or two of my mates would get together, crack open a bottle of wine and just start making noise. And that noise pretty soon developed into something, you know, that we could actually play. And when my brother came back a year later from England, we were already playing in our first band. So I think he was quite surprised about that. We probably should have been surprised as well that we managed to achieve that. But yeah, it wasn't very good for the university studies. It kind of got in the way a little bit. But, you know, have no regrets. It's been a nice road. You know, playing music and discovering that as part of my life. Thanks, Bailey. You know, really cool that you are enjoying it. Very nice to hear. And quantized. Yeah, I guess music can be quantized, and that's it works well in some genres, but in this type of genre, I don't think so. Not for what we do in any case. So amazing. We've kind of almost worked our way through all the tracks. I was just planning to go on for like maybe 15 minutes, and now it's been well over an hour combined with the two. So why don't we just finish it off? There are two songs left. One is called Go Baby Go, and the other one is called March for Peace. March for Peace is the last song, and maybe that will be a good one to end off with today, after we've listened to Go Baby Go. Let me just see if the album notes may be correct. See if there's any guests on there. Okay, well there will be a few guests on the last track, but let's play the second last track first. And remember, if you have any comments or questions, you know, do post them. Keep it clean. So here we go. This one is called Go Baby Go.
Sit back, enjoy the show, and take it
Go Baby Go, yes, some great sax work there again from Tom Wernhout, and a little bit of guitar sound at the end there. Sounds a bit like Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, no, Creedence is quite an important band, I guess, in sort of the music that I've appreciated over the years. When I was a little kid, growing up in a very small country town, there was really no entertainment for us whatsoever. Except on the weekends we had the drive-in cinema, which I believe is becoming popular again now in Corona times. And we had a roller skating rink, you know, and there was some like hippie dude, an Afrikaans guy, you know, this is an Afrikaans-speaking South African, and he was in charge, and he had these long hair and with these roller skates, and he would love to play Creedence like on full blast, and we'd all go tearing around the rink, you know, to Creedence. And at first I didn't quite know what to make of it. You know, I was probably only about 11 or 12 years old. But eventually, I guess when you kind of boogie to it and you're kind of zipping around the roller skating rink, you get into it, and those sounds get ingrained. And so some of those guitar tones and things, you know, are pretty much in my guitar playing these days, I would say. So a lot of inspirations, of course, and I always say for me the probably the biggest inspirations, the ones that I really loved, were the Kings, you know, like B.B. King, Freddie King, Albert King, you know, and kind of just any one of those is great, and there are many others as well. But in my guitar playing, I just don't have it in me to do all the super fast, fancy kind of riffs and stuff that people do from practicing their scales. I think I try, when I'm playing at my best, I'm trying to just put some emotion into the playing. You know, you don't do that all the time when you're playing. The trick is, I think, as many people have said as well, is to try to switch off. You know, just don't think about it, just play. And there will be bits in there that people will really enjoy. So yeah. Oh, and listening to these songs, it's really cool to listen back to the arrangements. You know, how the songs were arranged, and how I remember sitting, you know, for ages in rehearsals. You know, with input from everybody in the band. You know, let's do this, let's add that, let's extend this part. You know, let's break this down and just do drums here or whatever it might be. And you know, that's all part of the beauty of creating an album. So Peter, thank you. Nice to see you've joined us there. Hope you and Rosie are doing well. And you know, I've been seeing your posts on Facebook. Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun, doing good things. It's nice to see. So we're coming up now to the last song. And as I said, it's actually a good song to end off on. It's a song called March for Peace. And even at the time when we were writing the songs, when I was writing songs for this album, there was a lot of stuff happening in the world that's just, you know, not good, just like it is today. And, you know, you'd think that we as humankind would learn from our mistakes and the bad things that have happened. You know, we've seen the effects of violence and corruption and war, and, you know, and yet we're just unable to prevent it from happening again. And, you know, people like John Lennon used to sing songs about peace and love. And I hope that their efforts paid off in some way, but really, if you look at what's happened, it doesn't seem to have done that very much. There's still a lot of bad stuff happening. Let's just see, before I play that song, Kim, what do you say there? Okay, cool. Yeah, Kim, very nice. Thank you. I'm surprised. This is the first time I've done this, and you know, it's it's pretty cool. I guess you know, being a school teacher as well, you know, you kind of used to just standing in front of people and talking. So I hope that I've been that people have been able to understand what I've said. Oh, thanks, Sparky. Yeah. It's nasty, but we mustn't forget that there's also a lot of good. In fact, I saw somebody on Facebook the other day, you know, claiming that there's way more good in the world than bad, and we only ever really get to see the bad stuff because that's what people want to put on the news, and, you know, things like that. So let's remember that, and if you believe that there's more good in the world than bad, then, you know, that's good, because it means you're going to have a better life yourself. So I'm going to try to remember that. All right, so the song March for Peace, as I mentioned, this album was produced by Peter Struik, and this is one of the songs that he plays on as well. So the dobro guitar that you'll hear on this song, that's Peter. And I believe we've got Deborah Hulskamp singing backing vocals on this one as well. So as I said, this will be the last one, and then we'll sign off. So the song is called March for Peace.
Every mountain, I will swim every sea until I find my peace. How much pain, grief, and sorrow to bear until we find our peace. Follow your dream, follow your dream, follow your dream, follow your dream, your dream. People march on past tomorrow. Make your message clear, because we're calling for peace. Some don't think this blues is torture. Well, they just say it's okay. They say there's blues in heaven every day. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. Your dream. You got to follow your dream. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. You gotta follow your dream. Your dream. You gotta follow your dream.
Yeah, March for Peace. And there you can hear Tom rattling the bottles there at the end. Yeah, it was cool actually. You know, one of my big heroes and somebody that I feel I learned so much from in terms of developing my musical taste is a radio DJ in South Africa, a guy called Chris Pryor. In fact, if you do ever get to own the album, and if you remove the CD, there's some bits written there, and I believe that's the sleeve notes were written by Chris. We in South Africa we call him the Rock Professor. I think he calls himself the Rock Professor too. But you know, the name is fitting because he's really you know, in touch with you know, what's good and what's bad in music, and you know, it's a big influence in my life. And when he heard this album, he also raved about the album, and in the sax playing as well. He said, you know, it was fantastic. So it was a real good addition to the soundscape of the album. Yeah, there are a few people who've joined. I don't know if they're still there, but you guys, you just come at the end. Janine, yes. But you can also watch the show back. I think it's going to be on my Facebook, unless Facebook mutes the music, because as I said earlier on, they do that sometimes if it's copyright music, which it is. But yeah, it belongs to me. And here from the West, and Karen there from Austin, Texas. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. And John van Lent has joined us as well. Also, if I'm not mistaken, John, you're a DJ, right? Yeah, I think you've played some of our music on some of your shows, which is great. So yeah, no, well, yeah, yes, as Tom says there, you know, he played the bottles there on that track, and of course they didn't sound, those beer bottles, they didn't sound so good when they were full of beer, so he had to first empty them before he could play them, and yeah, I don't think it went down the drain, let's put it that way. No. So Viorica, very nice to see you as well, and another one of those that I mentioned earlier. I had, you know, I've been teaching for a long time in international schools, and Viorica's son was also, Adrian was also in my class way back what was that, 2004, 2005, long time ago. And nice that we're still in touch, Viorica. And yeah, thank you. Nice comment. And are you guys still in the Netherlands, Viorica, or have you moved on? I guess you're probably living somewhere else now. Okay, so that was it. It was a lot of fun. This was meant to be just a little short technical practice for me to make sure I've got everything working. Let me see if I can hear the applause now, because earlier on when I was plugged into a different source I couldn't hear the applause, so I'm just trying. Okay, this is just seeing if it works. Okay, I think you can hear it but I can't. Damn. Okay, anyway, that wasn't an applause for me, that was just testing to see if it works. So it's been very nice to see everybody, names appear there in the comments. And yeah, remember again on the 15th of July, 9 o'clock Amsterdam time, European time, that's also South African time, to tune in, because we'll then be featuring the fantastic Mr. Nico Christiansen from Living Blues and Living Blues Experience. He will be guesting with us, and it should be a lot of fun. This guy is just amazing. I saw his band a few months ago before the Corona, playing live in Delft, and woo, those guys rock, you know. Nico has been doing it since the 60s, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, Viorica in Switzerland. Oh, cool. Oh man, that's nice. Must be a nice place to be. So I'm actually gonna sign off now. Say goodbye, and look into the camera and say goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next time. And this has been so much fun. Maybe I'll do it again at some point, or maybe even have a guest. You never know. And maybe because actually we know we got 2 albums, so maybe next time I can feature the other album, which is called Urban Crossroads. So okay, that's it. Tot ziens allemaal. Goodbye. Adios.